I'm Tony Sklar with bnetTV. We are here at Broadband World Forum in Amsterdam for 2012, and I'm speaking with RTX, Mr. Jesper Mailind. How are you today, sir?
I'm very good.
Excellent. A good conference, fantastic city?
I think Amsterdam is a lovely city, and I think this conference is also the place to be. Just had a time to spend a few hours here, and especially for a company like RTX, where we have a large focus on enabling the smart home. I think it's very nice to see that the Broadband World Forum this year has even more focus on smart homes than I have seen the years before, in the sense that I see much more appliance companies introducing devices that can enable a smart home.
Do you know, over this past year, I've been able to speak with a number of different companies within the ecosystem that are supporting the connected home arena, and it's a big portion of the ecosystem as we move into 2013. Thursday, I'm speaking on a panel regarding OTT players within the connected home arena and what the consumption of data is going to look like within that home, and of course, just being at IFA here over here in September, the amount of connected devices on the appliance side, as you said, was astronomical. It was really great to see. Speaking with Sierra at CTIA MobileCon and even at MWC this year, where they spoke about their platform in supporting the M2M market space. I want to talk about how that support happens and why the rollout of IPv4 to IPv6 was so important this year.
It's obviously hugely important to go to IPv6 because we're going to have millions and trillions of devices that are going to be hooked up to the internet. And IPv6 enables us to give all of these devices an address. And this is also why this Broadband World Forum is very, very important to our company this year, because we are using this Broadband World Forum to introduce the first IPv6 enabled sensor device based on DECT ULE technology. So we're already recording quite an interest in our module, and this is basically the place where we're launching it.
Is this more of a enterprise level type system?
No, it is actually something that can be used both in the home as well as in the enterprise. It is basically using the DECT technology, which has certain advantages over some of the other radio technologies. The ULE technology is in a protected band. It's practically interference-free. It's in the 1.8 to 1.9 gigahertz band, whereas many of the other communication technologies, such as Wi-Fi, Zigbee, and Bluetooth, are in the 2.4 gigahertz band. Obviously, anyone can imagine with all of these other radio technologies in the same band, there is a lot of interference, which we avoid in the DECT ULE band. Moreover, if you're looking at Europe where we are now, a number of the service providers are actually introducing dual radio standards in their home gateways. So Deutsche Telekom, Orange, and some of the others, they're introducing gateways that have both Wi-Fi as well as DECT ULE in the gateway. So you have a dual radio standard in the home, which means that there's already going to be a huge installed base of gateways. Now we are coming with the first sensor-enabled module, and this will enable a number of the appliance companies to very quickly adopt the opportunities in the smart home arena.
What happens if a home wants to get connected with a particular device like yours, but they've got existing and legacy infrastructure that is IPv4 based? Well, is there crosstalk, or is one system going to talk to the other?
There's crosstalk between IPv4 and IPv6, so that should not be a problem.
So I think that that's something that the consumer definitely wants to make sure that they're not stepping into a technology that is going to be more difficult to use, and they're not going to be not going to work with their legacy systems.
No, the technology is made such that it is backwards compatible.
So why is it important actually, let me ask this first. What makes your systems better than your competitors within the space?
Well, first of all, our system is the very first one. So we are basically the first ones to launch an IPv6 enabled sensor in the DECT ULE space. So we are first to the market, so to say. whether it will be better than competitors is too early to say, because at this point in time there are no competitors. But we have been obviously forward-looking, and our DECT ULE modules are already, you could say, enabled in terms of having the ability to have a number of different sensors connected, whether it's temperature, humidity, any other kind of sensor that you want to have connected, plus the fact that we have built a cloud capability into our sensor. And that, in my mind, is huge. Because with cloud capability, we are going to have completely different ways of communicating and handling the huge amount of data that's going to be generated. Once the consumer is getting their house hooked up with a number of IPv6 enabled sensors, they can obviously record those sensors, they can report back to the cloud, they can get and they can basically also adjust the house via the cloud from a remote location, from either their smartphone or their iPad or whatever it may be.
What do you think that some of the first onset of IPv6 devices are going to come into the market space that is going to be utilized by the consumer via your system?
I think some of the first devices are going to be different kind of home control. It could be lighting control, it could be temperature control, it could be climate control, ventilation control. But we also do see a very large need in the home healthcare market. The whole situation with the aging population gives an enormous demand for basically keeping people in their home and monitoring them. And we are seeing quite a high interest from some of the care providers in terms of putting pendants into the home. And those pendants, especially with the DECT ULE technology, can both be voice enabled and they can be data enabled, which basically means that if the elderly is falling over, they can basically have a device on them that they can basically speak through, or they can send a signal.
So I like the M Health arena a lot. I think it's one of the emerging plays for 2013 on a grander scale. I think that there's a lot of interest in that market space by analysts, but even moreover, there's a lot of interest by the Fortune 2000 companies to make sure that they're getting involved in that arena. So it sounds like RTX is well positioned within the market space for a fantastic 2013.
We definitely think we are.
Jesper, thanks very much for taking the opportunity to speak with us here today. I hope we get a chance for an update again in the future.
Great. It was a pleasure.
I've been speaking with RTX's Mr. Jesper Mailind here at Broadband World Forum in Amsterdam. I am Tony Sklar with bnetTV.